Right, good evening, everyone. We're back again for the second main event coverage of the weekend, the prediction show for Jack Catterall versus Arnold Barboza Jr. Co-op Live Arena, Manchester, back-to-back weeks. We're getting an event here. Derek Chisora's UK Swan Song last week, of course. We got the WBO Interim World Super Lightweight Championship on the line. Teofimo Lopez's future uncertain at 140 pounds, so potential for an upgrade to the winner of this, the full world champion. Both men, very, very good records. Catterall's only blemish was, of course, the ever controversial fight with Josh Taylor, the first one anyway. Soon rectified that afterwards. He's 30-1. Arnold Barboza, controversial few fights on his record himself, but undefeated coming in, 31-0. We know Sean McComb beat him that night. We don't need to gloss over that one. But looked better last time out in Riyadh against Jose Ramirez, another common opponent of Josh Taylor as well. So, boys, it could be an interesting fight on paper. I've got Ramblers in the house already. Thanks for tuning in. Catterall UDX, boxer versus boxer puncher. And that favours the boxer, just like Sean McComb is referring to. I'll come to both of you as usual, boys. Give us your outlines of the fight on Saturday night, the main event, and then we'll go into our predictions for it.
I mean, you'd like to think that Catterall starts the favourite just on body of work, but then you look at Barboza's body of work. He's fought the likes of Mike Alvarado, Pedraza, Ramirez, McComb. Yeah, okay. People say that he lost that fight and whatnot, but he's a good fighter in his own right. And I think people are just assuming that Jack Catterall's just got to turn up. You know, he's leaning into his that VT is brilliant. The Mr. Boring.
Yeah, the boring one.
Sort of leaning into the
Mr.
Boring. I still would have fired Sam on the spot though for the shit that he said about him behind his back.
That was amazing.
I would never been able to trust him again. But I think we all know what Sam is. Sam is Sam. But look, I am favouring Jack Catterall. I just think that he's the slightly better boxer. I think he's a little bit faster. And I expect him to win, but that it's not a given. And I'm hoping, I don't think that the team, Nigel Travis and Jamie Moore and them, they're not the kind of people to make assumptions and just believe that if he's fit enough, he's good enough. Because that isn't the case. And this is another fight like when he fought Josh Taylor. It's a very even fight. It's on paper, it's technically a 50-50 fight, even though I've just said that Jack Catterall should be the favourite. But I think if he does not mind his P's and Q's and hasn't got a plan A, B and C, because I believe he'll need a plan A, B and C, I think there's going to be sticky patches throughout the fight for him. But I expect him to come through just based on him being that little bit better than Barboza.
Yeah, look, I mean, poor old Jack Catterall, I think this is his third final eliminator in a row or something like that, which speaks more for the governing bodies and his bad luck since getting robbed that night in Glasgow than anything else. But he's doing all he can do. Look, all you can do is beat what's put in front of you, keep winning, and when the politics are out of your hands, you just need to be there when the governing body decides that it's your turn to, be their flavour of the month, and that's all Jack can do. In terms of Barboza, look, his performance against Ramirez on that Latino night card was probably a career best. I questioned him going into that fight if he had enough heart, if he had enough bottle to do it, and he showed. Okay, I'm still not sure where he's at in his overall finished article, but he had something about him that night because Ramirez, as we know, former unified champion, could have caused him a lot of problems. Look, I favour Jack in this fight. I think Jack is the more better all-round fighter. We've seen him deal with crises in fights a lot better than we have Barboza. We've seen him come through and win fights that weren't going his way. I mean, you only have to look at the first 4 rounds against Prograis when he was last time out. He was cut over.
I'm going to bring it up myself, Liam. He didn't look good at all, Jack, at the start of the Prograis fight, but he found a way, didn't he?
Yeah, he was cut over his left eye. He was probably down 3-1, 3-2 after 5 rounds, but he found a way to dig in and get the job done. Okay, the knockdowns made the scorecards look a mess, but in reality, he came back through some adversity. I think he's very unfortunate, Jack, that he's in a division where there's so many brash-talking Americans around that are deciding they're going to hold up the belts, and the governing bodies want their 3% from these superstars that much that they're giving them more rope to hang themselves than they would do maybe in other divisions. I think whoever wins this fight on Saturday becomes full world champion by email. It looks like the WBO has said now, Tio, after this fight, has got 60 days to tell us what he's doing. He's not going to know his ass from his elbow in 60 days. Never mind who he's fighting.
He'll tell us what he's going to do. He'll just won't fucking do it, will he? Like he always does.
No, Tio's a different anomaly.
So you end up. Look, this is effectively, for me, I'm sure both camps are treating this like a full world title fight because they know what's going to happen. Barboza, I think it's a step too far. I'm not sure if you boys saw the face-off, sort of gloves-are-off style thing they done in Manchester last week. Barboza, all he could say was, you've had your best night. You've had your best night. He could keep saying that to Jack, obviously referring to the first Taylor fight, I would say. Eddie asked him 4 or 5 times, when was his best night? And all he could keep saying is, you've had your best night. So he seems...
He looked better in the Taylor rematch than he did in the first fight, to be fair.
You wonder with Barboza if he's feeling the weight of the occasion.
In the second
he's been...
Yeah.
Sorry, Luke.
No, you're all good. You know, he's had the McComb fight. He showed something against Ramirez that we didn't know was there. Maybe that reflects more on where Ramirez is at than him. And this is one of his best opponents. I mean, if he struggled with Sean McComb, he's going to struggle even more with Jack Catterall. If Jack turns up at the level he was against Prograde from round 6 onwards and all of that second fight against Josh Taylor.
Yeah, I definitely agree with what you say. I'm just going to go for a few comments. Big up to Pat, to Rambler, and Ryan for the comments so far. DJ Pat's got El Gato Catterall to take this on a UD, or late stoppage. Barboza, this is the biggest test, but El Gato takes this. Ryan says Catterall by landslide UD. And Pat said, for me, El Gato is better than Barboza since I think he has more grit and fire. It's hard to see him losing this fight because there's a difference between them and level skill. Yeah, look, I, like many people, think Jack Catterall's going to win this fight. I just don't think that A, Golden Boy, and B, Arnold Barboza Jr. would be coming to Manchester. Like, I'm not saying that they know something we don't, but and I know he's going to be paid handsomely. Don't get me wrong, but there was a lot of, if you remember, there was a lot of negotiation tactics, and there was a lot of pictures of ducks flying around on X and all that jazz not so long ago. I'm not saying for 1 second that I think Barboza Jr. wins the fight, but I think he's being written off a little bit too much. If I'm being honest, I think that him and his team fancy the job on Saturday.
That's my fucking prediction, boy.
Right. Okay. Well, we may as well let's do it then. Let's go into the predictions. Sorry, one more comment. Pain and Hearts in the house. Thank you for joining us. Mind you, Regis for Southpaw as well. Would love to see Jack win. Thank you for tuning in. Definitely would love to see Jack win as well. He's been, if one person got upgraded to champion by email, and I wouldn't begrudge him, it'd be Jack Catterall.
Right. Obviously, I've said I think Jack Catterall will win, but what I think and what I'm going to say are two completely different things. I've got a horrible feeling that it could go really wrong for Jack, and he could actually get caught and hurt. And I'm actually going to bet round 8 Barboza stoppage. I don't think that's going to happen, but that's what I'm picking. Round 8 Barboza stoppage. And he's going to catch him just random. I think Jack might take his eye off for a split second. And I think Barboza, like you said,
one of them non-puncher jobs.
Something. They have seen something, haven't they? Like you've just said.
I do agree with that statement. It's like, remember when Lee Selby knocked out Swifty Smith? And, Lee Selby just not a puncher at all, but laid Swifty Smith out that night. Sometimes when you're not a puncher, that's when the big knockouts happen.
Crawler did it. Crawler knocked out John Watson, knocked him dead, and then won the world title against a puncher.
Darlis Perez, yeah.
Yeah, Darlis Perez, yeah, good shout. Yeah. Go on, Liam, what's your Jay's picking Barboza?
Yeah, look, I agree with what you said, Sam, mate. Team Golden Boy and Team Barboza have seen something. That's why they've agreed to come over. I mean, they could have come over and had this fight last year, but they decided...
people up that easily.
No,
he doesn't.
I mean, they could have had this fight last year. They decided not to. That's how he ended up with the Regis fight. We're here now. That's bide to buy. I just think Jack at this point is finally sort of bearing fruits of what he's put into the sport. I think he sold 8,000 tickets for this fight. He sold 6 against Prograis. He's finally getting the fans behind him. Eddie's giving him the platform. Yes, he's not got that world title belt yet, but he's sort of bearing the fruits of his labor of having to move around from the small halls, from Frank Warren, signing that deal with Top Rank to get the fight with Josh initially to Matchroom. I think he's now in a position where he's looking to capitalize, and he's on that roll now. He looks so laser focused and locked in. I mean, his activity recently has been fantastic in high level fights. To do Josh Taylor, Regis Prograis, and now Barboza Jr. in a 9.5 month periods is fantastic activity. Yeah. And to, no excuses from him. He's been there, signed the contracts, and been ready to go each time, even with the delay against Prograis first time rounds. Barboza is dangerous, and if he learned anything from Prograis, it's that Jack probably holds his hands a bit too low in the tight exchanges, especially in the first half of a fight. That's how we saw him getting clipped and hurt. But you'd imagine the adjustments from that Jamie Moore, Nigel Travis dream have been made, and Jack by a wide UD, probably 8 rounds to 4, 9 rounds to 3 is what I'm leaning towards. But Barboza will be dangerous. He's going to need his heart to be broken. You can't allow him to get ahead of steam and feel like he's dictating the dance.
I've seen enough from Barboza, especially. I watched the Sean McComb fight live, and I watched the Jose Ramirez fight, and I think we all picked Ramirez to beat Barboza in Riyadh, and obviously that was a good performance by Barboza, although it was close. I think it was given closer on the cards than it actually was in all eventuality. But he got the decision deservedly. He's 31-0. He's got the winning feeling. Although he clearly lost to Sean McComb, it didn't go down as a loss on his record. Any fighter who's had 31 fights and not tasted defeat is going to be a hard fighter to beat. My worry for Barboza is, now, I'm not saying Jack Catterall needs help or anything like that, but he's coming into Jack Catterall's backyard from America as a non-puncher. His way to... Yeah, and I agree with what Rambler said there. That's also a fair point to what I mentioned earlier. Time to roll the dice. He's 33.
Same age out there.
No, Jack's 31, I think, and Barboza's 33. So yeah, that is fair. You need to go at some point, don't you? He's a super lightweight. 33 is not a spring chicken for a.
That's 31 though. Do you know what I mean? It's not like it's 10 years difference. It's a matter of 24 months. It's not a massive. I don't think age is going to play a factor at all for me.
No. However, Jack's fought for the undisputed belt, and he's fought. Jack's been in with better opposition for me than Barboza has. So yeah, they are rolling the dice. They're coming over to Manchester for it.
Sorry, can I just stop you there on this better opponent? So name me 4 of Jack Catterall's better opponents, if you don't mind.
Well, he's fought Josh Taylor twice. Regis Prograis.
Regis Prograis is on the slide, but yeah, I'll give you that.
Yeah, he is, but he caused Jack problems, didn't he?
But people are saying he's, like you said, he's boxed significantly better people. I don't think he has.
Jose Pedraza was on the slide when he's been knocked out by everybody. Look what Ernesto Mercado done to him a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, it's not as though Jack Catterall's got this.
No, he hasn't got a super deep resume. No, I agree with that.
3 or 4 top names before that.
I agree with that.
Domestic and European level. Do you know what I mean? I'm not having a dig at you. I'm talking.
No. It's a fair point. It's a fair point. And we have to give our opinion on it. It's right. I think Catterall wins, but I think it's close. Honestly, I do. Barboza's gonna have to knock him out to get a draw. If I'm being honest,
which I think he will do. I don't think. No. Sorry. I don't think he will do. That's what I'm predicting is going to happen. But I think that's similar to you guys. But I always pick something random.
I think it'll be close in actual eventuality. But whether it's close on the actual 3 judges' scorecards is a different.
It's going to be tough for Barboza on points. He's not winning on points, is he? Unless it's really wide and obvious.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he's in Floyd's gym in the doghouse, wasn't he? Catterall for all them years.
Let's be really honest here about Barboza. I mean, you just have to look at Prograis. Prograis arguably won 4 or 5 rounds in that fight in October, and then you get those 2 knockdowns, and suddenly
the cards were horrific.
The scorecards were horrific. So it says it all. Like Barboza could be 10-0 up after 10 rounds, but he'll still lose 8-4 on the scorecards. It's kind of, and the jokes we made about British fighters going over to Germany and stuff for years are now being made back at us, and it's a damning indictment. It's a conversation for another time. But if it's all British officials on Saturday, which I'm not sure if it will be because it's a WBO sanctioned fight, then that worries me if we have a close fight and you're going to get a bit of home cooking.
Yeah, look, hopefully it doesn't come to that. Hopefully it's conclusive. But yeah, again, unfortunately, we always talk about and you know what? On the flip side of it, and we're going to talk about it tomorrow night, Derek Chisora as a home fighter was on the receiving end of some weird scorecards. But anyway, that
judge was from Denmark, mate. That was a Scandinavian judge trying to do his brother a favour.
That's not for this video. We're getting to that tomorrow night. But yeah, look, we're all over the place with our picks, which we normally are. I'm going to be honest, my picks were horrendous last week, so hopefully Jack Catterall can spare my blushes this weekend. I picked against Nathan Heaney. I picked against Derek Chisora last weekend, so I had a bit of a nightmare. So hopefully we go better this week. Jane, Liam, been a pleasure as always, boys. Thanks to Pain and Heart, Rambler, DJ Pat Ryan for the interaction in the comments. We'll be back tomorrow, usual time, 7:30 p.m. for packed out no punches poll. We'll talk Keyshawn Davis, Baranchik, Catterall, Barboza, the full cards. Plenty of news going on as well. Frank Warren's zone schedule announced obviously today. We'll get our teeth stuck into that. More predictions on Wednesday night for the Catterall Barboza undercard. 3 really solid fights under that. Zelfa Barrett against Jazza Dickens, Pat McCormack against Robbie Davis Jr., and the rescheduled British and Commonwealth super feather fight between Reece Bellotti and Michael Gomez Jr., which is going to have some serious heat this week. Reece Bellotti was not a happy man last time. Straight talk with these two, Jay and Liam, will be on Thursday. JFT YouTube channel, so make sure you subscribe to that. I think we may be getting some news soon, but we can talk about that on No Punch Support about Liam's show whenever he's ready to do that. And follow the boys as always, and we'll see you guys tomorrow night.
Cheers, everybody. See you tomorrow.